remake of the 1941 original animated movie. That movie was only like 64 minutes or something. And in this version of Dumbo, Max Medici is a circus owner. He's got a struggling circus. A mama elephant is about to give birth to a baby elephant, and there's this family. Kids are dealing with the loss of their mother, while Colin Farrell plays Holt Farrier. He's dealing with the loss of his wife while also losing his arm at war. He comes back, and they befriend this baby elephant named Dumbo, who's got big ears, and they find out that he can fly. But then an entrepreneur by the name of Vanderveer, played by Michael Keaton, comes and buys aspects of the circus to bring into his own dreamland, but they discover that there are dark secrets in dreamland. This movie's getting mixed reviews from critics. A lot of people are saying that it doesn't have the Disney magic, that it's not as good as the original one. Look, I don't really remember the original one, but I went into this movie, I think, this was my least anticipated of the Disney remakes this year, between Aladdin, Lion King, and this. And I gotta say, I walked out pretty satisfied. This isn't a perfect movie at all, but I don't really agree with the critics on this one. I thought Dumbo was a charming movie, and I think a lot of families, and a lot of kids are gonna feel the same way as well. And that says a lot for a Disney movie, because we all know Disney is made for kids and families and all that stuff. This is definitely one that families can enjoy. I think kids more than adults. It's kind of one of my major issues with this movie, is that I feel like adults aren't going to enjoy it as much as the kids. The kids are really gonna love everything that this movie brings to the table. The adults, I think they're gonna kind of walk out just feeling like it was a dull movie. I personally didn't, but I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. And I feel like that's why it's getting a bit of a mixed reception from critics, is that they just felt like there wasn't enough oomph there, or just not enough magic, or all the magic is just there and it's all for the kids. Kids will definitely walk out of this movie loving it, but I think adults are just going to want something a little bit more. You can't really see adults watching this movie by themselves on their own without their kids. It's definitely made for families. Like, if adults are watching this with their kids, the adults are going to like it. But them by themselves watching it, I don't really think so. Also, Michael Keaton's performance in this movie. I did not like Michael Keaton in this movie. I don't know what he was going for. I don't know if that was what Tim Burton told him to do, because this movie's directed by Tim Burton. So you kind of know some of the stylistic ways Tim Burton films his movies, visualizes his movies, and tells his actors to act, and I feel like that this was one of those performances where he was just telling Michael Keaton to act not like Michael Keaton at all, and I don't feel like this really worked, and his villain came off as just one note. There's definitely going to be reminders of his villain. I'm surprised this villain actually got passed with the script, because he's basically an evil Walt Disney. That's what he is. I mean, this movie really touches upon the fact that, like, greed and conglomerate empires want to take over. They just want your money, and they want what's best. They think they know what's best when they really don't, and that's ultimately what Michael Keaton's villain embodies. There's nothing. He's just really one note. He's like, oh, I'm evil, and I'm Michael Keaton. And his performance for that, if he had driven home a better performance, I think I would have bought him as the villain more. And I felt like he wasn't in the movie all that much. He shows up about 45 minutes into the movie. I was saying to myself, come on, get to the villain. Let's get to the villain. And he finally shows up, and it's like, damn it, well, about time. Also, there's a couple of Burton-esque sequences in here towards the end that I don't feel really fit with the tone of the movie. I just felt the movie was kind of a bit more lighthearted while having something to say and getting that message across perfectly. And then tonally in the third act, it kind of takes a bit of a shift. And I didn't think that benefited the movie. It made it a more darker premise while also trying to hammer home that message, but it didn't hammer it home as well as it could have, like it did in the first two-thirds of the movie. But the rest of the movie, I thought was really great. Dumbo, the baby elephant himself, he was cute. He was adorable. I loved him. He stole the entire show, as he should. The movie's named after him. He's ultimately what you want to go and see this movie for, and kids and adults are going to love Dumbo. I want him as a pet elephant. I really liked all the sequences with Dumbo, all his circus antics and all that. I thought that really added some taste to the movie. It kind of added this magical spark, and just watching Dumbo fly visually was amazing. And Dumbo himself, the CGI, that is perfect. That was some perfect CGI, what the movie needed. I think a lot of people are going to walk out of this movie slightly let down, but at the same time, I think they're going to be entertained. I definitely do not agree with the critics on this one. I was definitely entertained. It's a very enjoyable Disney remake, and I know that people have really kind of ragged on Tim Burton in his career, but I think he doesn't add as much of the Burton-ness as you would expect for a Tim Burton film. Like something like Alice in Wonderland. That's something that's completely full of Burton style. This one, I felt like he was a bit more reserved. They told him, all right, pull it back a little bit. You gotta make this somewhat of a straightforward remake without any of your visual style or flavor, and I feel like Tim Burton did the best he could to do that, and I feel like if he had gone full Burton, it wouldn't have worked as well as it did. And I appreciate the movie for doing that. I feel like Tim Burton knew, or he's like, alright, this isn't a movie where I can use my visual style and my visual flair. I can make my own stamp on this movie, but I'm not going to use my usual visual flavors. And I applaud him for doing that, because that's not Tim Burton. He uses a lot of his own weird styles, and that's quite frankly why I don't necessarily like a lot of his movies. I think they're too weird and zany. This one just felt more relaxed. I feel like even though if he was told not to put all of his visual style in there, I feel like he embraced it and seemed more competent in this film. I thought he directed this film very well. Overall, I enjoyed Dumbo. Do not agree with the critics on this one. I thought it was really entertaining, fun, definitely a movie I want to watch again. I'm going to give Dumbo a B+. Guys, thank you for watching my review of Dumbo. I will leave the link to my website in the description below. There you can find all my social media accounts. You can like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and you can subscribe at the end and check out some other videos I have done. My name is Alex Madden. I'll see you soon at the movies somewhere.